Hey you guys, it is me, Laura, and I'm so excited about today's video. I am sharing with you guys what we do for chores slash allowances slash jobs that we do in our house. And I know that it's something that's a struggle to find a fit for your family and what works for you. And I am not sharing this with you guys to tell you this is what you should do, but I'm sharing with you what we do in hopes that there might be a nugget or two that you can take and make your own and implement into your own house. But we have been doing this now for a couple months at least, probably longer than that. And it is still working. The whole system is working really well still, so I figured it was tested and tried enough for me to go ahead and share it with you. So I guess the best place to start is figuring out, and this is what we had to do, is allowances versus chores and work, and do you make kids work for their money or do you just give them money so that they can learn how to budget? And we have read so many different opinions from experts. Some experts say that you need to make your kids work for money so that they learn that money doesn't just happen, and others say that you need to give your kids an allowance so that they can learn to manage money, period. They have to have money to work with to manage. Some people say that you should pay your kids for the chores that they do because it teaches them that work is what gets money, and other people say that you shouldn't pay your kids for the chores because that's being part of the family and that's what's expected. So for this age, where they are right now, we have decided that we are not comfortable with just giving our kids money. Now, that being said, when they are older, we may, and who knows, there's a long time between now and then, but we may give an allowance at that point, that which they will use to buy their clothes and buy some things that they need to learn to manage that money. But for now, I'm buying all those things for them. So there's not really, we're not giving them allowances, just giving them money to spend on fun things. And so we just didn't feel comfortable giving them an allowance at this age. So what we decided to do is to create a job board. Now, we also didn't feel comfortable paying our kids for chores that they should be doing. So we have things separated into our house as chores and jobs, and what goes under what category will slightly change over time as the kids get older. But chores are things that they are expected to do as their part around the house. These are things like helping clean up after a meal, keeping their room clean, putting away the toys that they're playing with, making their beds, brushing their teeth. These are just the general things that are expected as being part of a family and running in a home together. And then we have things that are called jobs. And these are things that the kids need to learn to do that are a little bit above and beyond. And some of these jobs, when they're a little bit older, will be part of their just chores that they do. But for right now, they're things that are a little bit, more to teach them. And jobs will be things like cleaning, washing windows, cleaning the baseboards of around the house. Now, those are probably always going to be jobs, but there's also things like vacuuming. Now, vacuuming their room eventually will not be a job. That'll be part of their chores, but any other rooms in the house, vacuuming. Let's see, bringing in the trash cans, feeding the cat. All of those things are part of their jobs. And on the board, we have rates, and there's two rates that they can get paid. One is the apprentice rate. So if they're still needing our help and they're still learning how to do a very good job, and we're doing it with them, they get paid a little bit less. But once they've mastered it and they're able to take those jobs on their own, then they can get paid a little bit more because they're doing them independently. And that's something that Arlen and I are not having to oversee or do or anything. So that's kind of the way it is. And sometimes Samuel will have a job that he is really good at and Timothy is helping him. So Samuel will get paid the full rate for that and Timothy will get the apprentice rate. So they can both kind of get paid and work together. And we have 3 categories of jobs. And one is what's called a professional job. And that is a job that they train to do and then they take it on and they are responsible for that job. It's not something that they can just do willy-nilly whenever they want. So, for example, Timothy's professional job is feeding the cat. So he has to feed the cat every day, at least twice a day, and in order to get paid, that's what he has to do. And if they struggle with that job and can't keep it up, they get a warning and talked to and some more training, and eventually they will lose that job and will have to wait and reapply later. And reapply is just say, hey, I want to do this. And they're only allowed one professional job at a time until they master it. And once they master it and are doing it, we're not having to remind them, and they're just doing it and doing really well, then they're able to choose another professional job to take on. Then there's other jobs that are like anytime jobs. That would be things like washing the windows and the baseboards. These are things that do not have to happen all the time, and if they just are itching to get some extra money, they can do them anytime with no further commitment. They could wash one window and be done with it. They could wash all the windows and never wash them again for a whole year. That's totally fine. And then I have business ideas, which they have not done any of these, and I don't expect them to do them for a few more years, but they're there. And that's things like have a bake sale, have a garage sale, things that they can just kind of do with some help, but on their own. However, at this point, Samuel's been very interested in these job opportunities, but he doesn't really want to do any work yet. So lemonade stand and things. And so obviously I would help them with these, but they have to kind of take initiative and show that they're going to make it their project. So that's kind of the way that it works. That's how they earn money. That's what they do. The rates are set. On the board, you might see a little slot. I have little time cards, which are just cut little pieces of paper. And Arlen or I will write down whatever job they do and how much they get paid whenever they do a job. And then on Sunday morning, first thing at the breakfast table, I pull out all the timesheets and divvy up the money that they make. So I have this jar, which is at the bank. This is where we put loose change and just some loose little cash and stuff. And this is what we pay them out of. And every time they get paid, their money they must put 10% in tithe, and they each have a jar with money for Jesus, and then we take this to church, and they give that at church, and so 10% of whatever they earn has to go here, and they have to save at least 40% a month, and that's money that goes here in the bank. And they're able to save as much as they want, but if they save 40% and they give 10% to Jesus, that gives them 50% for spending money. So this is money that they can keep on their person. If we're out at the store and they see something they randomly want, they can get it. If they, whatever they might choose to spend it on. So with savings, what they do is they pick something out that they're saving for. So I'm going to go ahead and insert a picture of what that looks like right now. So as you can see right now, at the filming of this video, Samuel's saving for a pair of skates, which are $32, and Timothy is saving for a police car, which is $20, and Timothy is actually, on Sunday, he will have earned the money that he needs for that. So I'm super, super excited. They've been saving for a long time. But whenever they get paid, I go to the bank, I divvy out the amount of money that they get paid for the week, and then I have a ledger where I write down the money that they're depositing back into the bank for savings. And I just keep a running tally so that they know how much it is, kind of like it would be for a real bank. And on the first Sunday of every month, they get 2% interest. And we do that to encourage them to save, and also that's the way it works in the real world. If you save your money, you get interest. And I know some people would say, but they're not getting much money, and that's not a lot of interest, but that's pretty realistic amount of interest, and we really want our kids to learn how things are really, like that you really have to work to earn things. So that is kind of what we do, and it has been going super well. I'm so excited because Timothy is about to get his police car, and he has really, really worked hard to save for that. And Samuel's close to getting his skates, but it gives us a great opportunity to, if one of the boys is, oh, I really want this, well, you can do XYZ job and earn some money for it. And sometimes they're like, all right, and they get on it and they work. And other times they're like, not worth it. But I think the things that it's teaching them are really, really good. And it doesn't really take a lot of work. And we do have the categories split up into professional jobs and anytime jobs and like business ideas, and the lines are kind of blurred sometimes, so that might not be necessary to do, but the reason we did that is because we want them to learn that when they commit to doing something, they need to follow through and do it. That's why we have the professional jobs. But at the same time, sometimes you just want to do more than what you're doing. So we wanted to give them the opportunity to do that through the anytime jobs as well. So I feel like they're still young, 6 and 3. So there's still a lot that they're not getting, and that's okay. But I feel like this is a pretty good system that we have set up. Over time, there'll be more jobs, like mowing the lawn will probably be on there somewhere, and things like that that are more involved, but they'll also get paid more as well. So yeah, that is pretty much what we do. That's how we manage money with the kids, and so they can have as much money as they're willing to work for. It's basically the way that we look at it, and it's gone really, really well. We're really pleased with the way it's gone. So I would love to hear how you handle allowance and money and chores and jobs and work and all that stuff in your household. What has worked for you and what hasn't worked for you? And is there anything that you hadn't thought of maybe in this video? I'd love to hear about it in the comments below. So please feel free to let me know. And I'll talk to you guys later. Have a great day. Bye.